Vibe check, guys. We're doing Sirens of Titan by Kurt Vonnegut. Now, I love this book. There's gonna be spoilers in this. First spoiler, I'm gonna spoil my opinion of you. I cried at the end of this. I cried so hard. There is such a gear shift. The way I would describe it is, it's going 100 miles an hour, and then you pop that bitch in reverse. I'm a big fan of Death of the Author. I think Death of the Author is extremely important. I think there needs to be more Death of the Author. And I think Vonnegut kind of goes into Death of the Author for this book. While it's about, what is it? I'm not smart enough to know what this book is really about, I guess. I already said the spoiler, I don't care. At the end of it, the real message of the book is, where is it? I don't know. It's love everyone. Love everyone who is around to be loved. That is the point of this book. Says it all the time. Vonnegut does that sometimes. Mother Night says it on like the first page. This might be my favorite Vonnegut book now, is what I'm trying to say. The death of the author aspect is Vonnegut tries to play down the existence of God and mock organized religion, but a very surface level reading of this novel is that Vonnegut is mocking organized religion, specifically with the part of this book is falling apart from the sauna, especially in the part with the Church of the Utterly Indifferent God. That part is supposed to be, organized religion, they're gonna dogmatize, they're just silly. But it's not. It's making fun of the human's ability to dogmatize. It's not making fun of the church specifically. Because the fun thing about that is, it's a human, secular, very rational religion, but then it gets just blown out. It gets blown out. Hell, the guy who started had an existential crisis when he realized, there actually were people controlling it the whole time. That gets to the Tralfamadorians. More Vonnegut stuff later. This book was a prototype basically for every concept in every Vonnegut book there was. I'm reading Cat's Cradle right now. Mother Night, I've read that 4 times. Slaughterhouse-Five, that's a twofer. Dude, there's so many. This book is the prototype for all Vonnegut novels, and if you can I don't want to say get through this. I hate the term get through this for books. I despise that phrase, because you're not getting through this book. You're enjoying every second of it. I loved it. Now, it may seem like this book is this book is about life. This book is truly about how to live your life. There's so many different ways to describe it. If you can't get through this book, you're not going to make it through life. The anonymous Sirens of Titan, that's what you're chasing your whole life. That's something that somebody said, hey man, if you do this, you're going to get it. And then you find out it's plastic and paint. If that's not something we all understand fundamentally, I don't know if you're a person, if you think, do you have feelings? Are you a dog? Are you a fucking dog? This book is for people. This is a people book. Now there's dog books. I'll give you an example of a dog book. This is a book for fucking dogs. This is when you have your friends who are, I want to win, scratching at the door, give them this book, they'll love it. It's so fun. It's fast. It's incredible. Look, there's skeletons. There's a reason I didn't fucking hear about this book for 15 years after it came out. Is this from 2012? Why is everybody reading this now? It's because it's ass. It's not good. All right, I'm just gonna open up a random page in this, and then a people book, and I'll show you what a fucking people book is. Here's this book. They all watched him. He ate. Then they ate as well. A ripple of goose flesh went down his arm. Nothing had ever tasted so good. Now his wife brought wine. At first his stomach quivered at the thought of it, but then a sense of peace came over him. He was about to reach for it, but then the older girl spoke up. "Papa?" she said. His hand hovered over the cup. "Yes." "I want to live." "Of course you do. We all do." See, I was going to read a lot less of that, but then I was just like, come on, give me something fucking redeeming. Give me something that's not just shit ass from a toilet. We can't do that though. All right, here's Sirens of Titan, opening a random page. He had never received an order, not from anyone who was a superior to the real commanders. Boaz based his actions, as did all the real commanders, on what could be best described as conversational tidbits. Tidbits circulated on the real commander level. Whenever the real commanders got together late at night, the tidbits were passed around with beer and crackers and cheese. There would be a tidbit, for instance, about the waste in the supply rooms, and another about the desirability of soldiers actually getting hurt and mad during jiu-jitsu training, and another about soldiers' shabby tendency to skip loops and lacing up their puttees. Boaz himself would pass on these, without any ideas of their point of origin, and he would base his actions on them. That's good writing. That's people book. That's probably the most brainless. I tried to do that 3 times earlier. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna like try and find somewhere redeeming in this book. Can't. This was literally the most boring shit in this book I just read. Probably the most exciting shit in that book. What are they gonna be, fucking zombies and stuff? Papa, I want to live. Martian armies attacking Earth. Overall, the vibe check is immaculate on this book, unlike my cover. Again, distorted Masana. See, my problem with Vonnegut, I need to take some time away from Vonnegut because I read enough Vonnegut. After I read Cat's Cradle, I'm gonna take like a year off, and I'm gonna try and read them in. I don't know. I need to figure out an order because I don't know if every time I read a Vonnegut book, they become my favorite Vonnegut book. Not necessarily. That doesn't happen every time necessarily. I was never, for some reason, huge on Slaughterhouse-Five. But I read Breakfast of Champions. I was like, this book is amazing, right? And then I read Mother Night. It took me a while to read Mother Night, honestly. I read Breakfast of Champions, and then I got recommended Mother Night, and it was just on my bookshelf for like 5 months. And then I read it, I was like, oh shit, this book's amazing. And then I read Slaughterhouse-Five, reread Breakfast of Champions, and then reread Mother Night like 3 times. Because Mother Night was really head and shoulders above all the other ones is my favorite. Because I'm getting so off topic. But no, Mother Night's excellent. First off, I'm stupid. I think we've established that this whole time. I'm pretty dumb. Vonnegut just puts what the book is about in the beginning. He literally writes out like, hey, I don't do this for most of my books. Usually you have to think about it. I don't even know. But he writes out in the beginning of Mother Night, he's like, I normally don't do this, but I'm going to do this now. Here's the meaning of this book. Pretend, like, be careful about who you pretend to be, because that's like who you end up being. You can't, that book's a fucking masterpiece. Read Mother Night. After you read honestly, the first Vonnegut book should be Sirens of Titan. Because again, it's the prototype for all the other Vonnegut novels. You have Trifalmadorians, you have some of the fun sci-fi. What else? Yeah, there were like a couple other ones that I was literally just thinking about. I was like, let me look at these. Alrighty, Rue. We have, with Mother Night, which was his next novel, we have being careful about who your identity is and losing your identity, trying to pursue a goal. Cat's Cradle, I'm literally in the middle of reading that. Not in the middle, I'm in the beginning of it. Slaughterhouse-Five is time skipping around, and Trifalmadorians and Breakfast of Champions is people going insane. I need to reread Breakfast of Champions. That book is like a fever dream. I've only read it twice, so I have the basic story. I need to figure out whether they're all hallucinating or not. I think they are. I'm not sure about that one. It's hilarious. It's hilarious, but again, Vonnegut books are there's just so much thrown at you. Like, I love them. I'm going to probably do another vibe check on this one in a year after I read it and be like, I was completely wrong. But Dude, I got so sidetracked. I was talking. How did I start off on this whole tangent? Oh yeah, I think it was talking about how he mocks the church. Yeah, how he's talking about mocking the church. And people think that, but it's a very common misconception because the whole time Winston Owls Rumford, he started the Church of the Utterly Indifferent God because he didn't believe in luck or anything, and he didn't want people to believe in God favoring anybody, and he actually did the Harrison Bergeron thing to where it actually, they give you disadvantages, and that makes you better. You know, if you're hot, you shouldn't have a hot other. You know, that kind of stuff. Oh, that kind of good stuff. But either way, so he does that, but then at the end of the book, he has an existential crisis, and kind of flips out because he realized that he was actually not in control at all. He was just being used by the Tralfamadorians, which are a really good metaphor, I guess, for a Calvinistic interpretation of God. I think Vonnegut, his whole time when he was doing these alien races, with different concepts, four-dimensional concept of times, he was really trying to grapple with the existence of God and how, he was in World War II in the bombing of Dresden. I think he got captured during the Battle of the Bulge, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know exactly when he got captured, don't quote me on that, but he got captured in 44, 45. And he was at the bombing of Dresden, he was in Dresden during the bombing. That was the first time a lot of Americans had ever heard that happen. So with that, he was trying to grapple with God existing and him having to go through that. And I think that's really, really difficult for a lot of people to grapple with. You're why me? Why did this happen to me? Why did it happen to these people? If God is real, how does all these things happen? And in a Calvinistic, deterministic aspect of it, God's just doing stuff to make things happen. And I think that's the God Vonnegut portrays, but refuses to admit that he portrays. Because there's so many of his damn books. Oh my God, now that I think about it. Mother Night, you had there's all these characters, not necessarily sci-fi. Again, I can't speak on Cat's Cradle. I just put that up there to show how many Vonnegut books I have. But Mother Night, you have, what's his name? The army guy. You have the army guy. He's there, and then he finally comes out and saves the day at the end. Slaughterhouse-Five, you have the Tralfamadorians showing that conception in time. Breakfast of Champions, there's the author, the narrator. Kurt Vonnegut himself, basically, comes through and it's hey, I'm writing you, by the way. I'm the creator. And the guy's what? And then the guy leaves. This one, again, the Tralfamadorians, that's all I can speak of on Vonnegut up until 1973. I've only read Vonnegut up to 1973, so I don't know what he was doing after that, but vibe check. What's the final vibe check on Kurt Vonnegut, Sirens of Titans? Immaculate vibe. So clean, so good, so fresh. Read it. If you're just oh, I want to read a book. I want to read a book I haven't read a book in forever. Don't read this. Honestly, do read it. Maybe get a shorter book. Not quite a dog book. There are other books. There are other dog books that I would. They're not quite dog books. They're what's below a human, a fully fledged human, and a dog. Wait, I know what that is. Hey guys, here's a median voter book. This is a book for the median voter right here. The Alchemist. Literally the phrase personal legend pisses me off so fucking much. I don't know why. I don't know why the phrase personal legend sends me into such a tiz. But every time I read it, I was I hope there's a fucking Brazilian, I shouldn't do that. I hope there was a Brazilian word so that it doesn't sound stupid. It sounds so. I'm following my personal legend. Do you know what that sounds like? Do you know what that fucking sounds like? That sounds like when I'm like, oh yeah, I moved to Austin to tell jokes like a fucking idiot. They're like, oh, I'm glad you're following your dreams. Dude, don't follow your dreams. Like I mean, you can be like, I have a destiny. I have a destiny. Donald Trump did that, and that's how Donald Trump was watching himself watch TV on TV. On TV. There's a picture of this man watching himself. Some people are the objective protagonists of reality, right? And I think this book does actually believe in great man theory. Because, like, I don't know. It's an easy read. It's like, who knows? Maybe it's better to just be like the crystal merchant, never go to Mecca and just go through life wanting to do so, he thought, again, trying to convince himself. This book has like some really good quotes. This is a quote book. This is not like a full-fledged book. This is a book that like the way that I perceive this book was made, is basically a guy was like, oh, I have these quotes about following my dreams and wanting to do life. I'm going to build a story around these quotes. I'm going to build a story around these quotes rather than build a story around a philosophy or like build a story like, I don't know. The other thing that pisses me off, there's no like date reference. Like, I don't know if this guy didn't have any books and he's like, I'm sure there was like a war going on in the like Eastern Sahara at some point. I bet the Libyans and Tunisians were butchering each other at some point back then. So like I can't actually like understand. Like I'm a nerd. I'm always gonna look up the context of things and try and like get a grasp on things. Why can't I look up what battles were going on? Why can't I look up who was fighting who? Why can't I like help get a visualization for what these guys look like their colors, what do their flags, what do their banners look like, what do their camps look like? It's all very fascinating, and it really helps you get in deep about like a little shepherd boy running away and running from Spain to Egypt to only find that he literally could have just gotten a shovel in the beginning of the book. I think that's my vibe check on The Fucking Alchemist. It's a median voter book. It's a book built around quotes. Yep, that's how that goes. Should I do another vibe check? I'm on a tear today. I'm on a fucking, jeez Louise, what do we do? Oh man. No, I think that's it. I think that's it. I did 2 vibe checks. This is gonna take forever to edit.